Morning.
Good morning, CakeDrain Nation, and welcome to another episode of I Just Woke Up. The end is nigh, people. Most people agree that the world will not last forever. One way or another, whether it's tomorrow or 2 million years from now, the world as we know it will come to an end. We have a lot of movies themed apocalypse and post-apocalypse, and even the end of this show marks a sort of apocalypse. That's right. This Friday, I Just Woke Up is coming to a close. But as with all apocalyptic scenarios, it doesn't just mark the end of one thing, but it also marks the beginning of something new. And so that rides a very blatant little segue into the CakeDrain show. I Just Woke Up is ending this week. Last week of I Just Woke Up, but in just over a week after that, our new show is going to have its series premiere. The CakeDrain show is going to be a lot like I Just Woke Up, but it's also going to be a lot different. We're going to do lists like this one we're doing today, but we're also going to do new things like games. We're going to do skits and videos in and outside of the show. It's going to be me and Drake on set, in person, in the flesh. It's going to be a lot of fun, so look forward to that. But now I'm going to get today's episode started off. We're going to be talking about, and you probably guessed it by now, our favorite apocalyptic scenarios. So I'm going to let Drake start off the list. What's up, Drake?
What's up, CakeDrain Nation? Good morning, you guys. Good morning, Cain. So, to begin the week, we thought since this Friday is the end of I Just Woke Up, the last show for this particular show, we thought we'd talk about our favorite apocalypse scenarios. Now, these are stuff in movies, and these are theories. These are things that we think are interesting. Maybe not ones we want to happen, but things that are kind of interesting. First one I want to bring up is actually one that was pseudo brought up in the movie Transcendence towards the end, and that's all of technology just shuts down. I know what you're thinking, what would the world come to, what would happen? But you got to think, we depend so much on technology, how huge of an impact would it make for everything to shut down? I mean, cell phone service, internet, computers, all that kind of stuff. I think it'd be pretty big impact, pretty huge thing, kind of have to go back to before technology, and I think most of us would be okay, but a lot of us nowadays probably would have some issues. Cain, what's one of yours that you think is interesting?
Now, the first apocalyptic scenario that I want to talk about today, I put on the list because I had never heard of it before. Now, many of you have probably heard of the super volcano scenario. This is where a giant volcano like the one under Yellowstone Park erupts, spewing all this ash into the atmosphere and ultimately resulting in a sort of ice age. Well, this is kind of like that, but even more intense. It is called a large igneous province scenario. And this, I know it sounds kind of weird, but instead of a volcano just erupting and spewing lots of ash into the air, which is very significant, this is a scenario where the Earth's crust basically cracks open, most likely around tectonic plates where they merge together. It's just this enormous, huge crack in the Earth's crust, and lava just comes pouring out in quantities that is hard to imagine. And so not only is just tons and tons of magma cooking everything, it's also spewing ash into the atmosphere and releasing all of these toxic gases into the atmosphere, essentially kind of destroying the planet and making it uninhabitable. So even if you don't get burned by the lava or the molten ash and things like that, you die from asphyxiation because of all the toxic fumes and the poisonous gases that are now in the atmosphere. So that is pretty intense. I mean, there is a chance that people would be able to survive a supervolcano eruption, you know, and the ice age that follows. But with a large igneous province, you pretty much can guarantee that the planet's toast.
Awesome. My other one I have to bring up is, because I'm a dork, I know, you're going to laugh at me for this, but a supervillain such as Rita Repulsa or Lord Zed from Power Rangers is taking over the world. That would be bad. I mean, think about it. They've had all these minions running around, monsters everywhere, and, you know, we kind of have to bend to their will. That's kind of a huge deal, because there's no freedom in that. It's just awful and destruction everywhere. Pretty insane. I mean, we wouldn't have, some of us would try to fight back, but, you know, be pretty epic to watch. So, Cain, do you have another one that you're interested in?
Awesome. Now, the last apocalyptic scenario that I want to mention is the